Hey, good morning. It's Father's Day. Yes, it is. I want to let y'all know something, man. When I was 21 and my wife was 17, yeah, we broke the rules a little bit. We had to keep it under the But this is my wife when I met her. It's a picture. See, I got a glare. Let's do it. That's better. The light's killing it. Here she is. Beautiful, man. Woo! We was a blind date. We met on a blind date. She was in a man's black book. And she said, I told him, I said, hey man, I need a date. I said, we're at this party we created. We done passed out flyers through the whole town. It was in the town of Burleson, when Burleson wasn't that big. And, no, take that back. It was Cleburne. It was Cleburne, not Burleson. It was Cleburne, because we had to go through Burleson to get to Cleburne. And so, we pass out flyers all over Cleburne, man. And people would drive by, but because there wasn't nobody there but one car, they thought it was a crackpot, or they didn't want to stay, or, you know, it was I didn't know. So I'd made a big old bowl of punch with strawberry sherbet, no, with orange sherbet and a bunch of gin and stuff in it, and peaches and apple, pineapple, and just big old punch, you know, and chips and everything. We had it decked out. Well, I said, dude, you're gonna have to call somebody, because no one showed up for the party at all. It was a total loss. So I said, get in that black book of yours, and this is like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pretty boy. You know what I'm saying? So he digs this one out, and he says, this one will go, man. This one's all right. Let's call her up. So we called her up, and I went and we drove all the way to back to Fort Worth, and picked her up at her house. And yeah, I got plenty of time, so I can tell y'all the story. And I picked her up at her house, and we brought her back to the party. And just the four of us, me, Clayton. I'm not going to use his last name. I really wish I could remember it, but we were all there partying, and we were playing shots, you know, with quarters, you know. And I didn't drink, so because I just didn't drink, you know. I think well, hell, let it out the damn bag. It don't happen no more. I smoked. Every time she'd drink, I'd smoke. And we went, because that's just my young party days, man. Some shit that happened. Anyway, so she got wasted, and I took her to the bedroom, and this is a wild, stupid ass story, but it really happened, y'all. It really happened. So she was down there kissing with me on the bed and stuff, and she says, I think I'm fixing to get sick. And I guess it was the concoction of the punch that I'd created. Anyway, so she gets to the bathroom, and she says, how do I turn the light on? Well, I had to go in there because it's up high. You had to screw the light bulb in, because didn't have a switch in this old house. It was an old house. It's probably tore down by now. It was an old rundown house. It was kind of like this place, you know. It wasn't new. So I had to unscrew the light bulb every time, screw it in. She did it to me 3 times. I'd get to kissing on her and stuff, getting all fresh, and I didn't even get past second base every time, man. And finally, she got through getting sick, right? And just about the time I got her top off with her bra on, she says she was out. And I seen that beautiful woman laying there, but I knew I was 21 and she was 17, so I didn't do nothing. And she woke up the next day with her shirt still off, and she asked me, she says, did we? And I said, no, sweetheart, we didn't. And she hugged me, put her face right up here and kissed me. And she told me I really appreciate that, man. You know, she just, and we kissed. And from that moment on, we've been best friends. We might have fought through all the years, but that's my baby. That's how we met. And that's what she looked like. I love my wife so much, man. It's Father's Day and I'm crying like a little crybaby. But that's the story, man. That's the story of me and my wife. Oh, and get this. Get this. The guy that hooked us up, old Clayton, the reason why he hooked me and her up also is because I was dating his sister, and he didn't want his sister dating anybody, you know. He was just too protective of her. So he figured that he's going to get me somebody else to fly away with or whatever. But he got mad because we stayed together, man. He was pissed. He kept trying to go up to my wife and tell her, look, he said, that dude's too wide open for you. You don't need to be with him. He's not good for you. Blah, 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 blah. You know, trying to throw me under the bus. And she said, she did tell him this. She says, he is so much more than you are. Because he knew when she took advantage of him. I mean, he took advantage of her. He got her drunk. He did tell me that. He said, if you get her drunk, she's a goer. And I got her drunk, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And so because of that, because I was a gentleman and a nice guy in my heart, man, I got her for life. Not just one night. She's never left my side. She never went home. She never has went home. I keep looking over here at the screen. I'm sorry. I need to put a red dot down here on this little area right here. I'm sorry. But, yeah, that's the story, man. It's a wild, wild life, and it's been a lot of ups and downs. If y'all could only caught us back in the day when we were arguing and screaming at each other, the neighbors used to just pull up the popcorn out on the front porch, man, and just eat. You know, I'm not kidding. I think I did see them. They wouldn't. I don't know what the hell they was eating, but they just had their plates out there sitting on the damn porch watching us argue and throw shit at each other. You know, and we never hit each other. I remember one time we were throwing crap in the kitchen, and that girl, I threw a pan on the ground. Bow! You know what she threw? A sponge. Plop. I looked at her in the middle of the argument, and we just started laughing. I said, you choose to throw a fucking sponge. Excuse me for cussing, but that's what I told her. I told her that, bro. And I could just tell you of all the times that I mean, I'm not bullcrapping, man. I've had a tough, I can look back on it and laugh, man. But one time she made me so mad, I found myself on the hood of her car. With my daughter and my son in the car. They was trying to leave. That's what it was. I'm taking the kids and I'm leaving. And I said, no, you're not. And I got on the hood of the car, and I'm telling you, man, it was like in the movies, man. And the scariest part about it is when they slam on them brakes, you better have a grip. But she couldn't throw me off for nothing, man. She tried to, and she would get out of the car. Damn it, just get out of the car. And, you know, us screaming back and forth at each other. We never did hit each other. Let me make that first point. We never did hit each other, but there was a lot of anger there with us. There has been, you know, because we were just people growing up in the world. I can't explain it, man, but that's just what I've went through. Now, I will not never do that again. She ain't going there no more, man. We just ain't having fights like that no more. We haven't had fights like that even before I broke my motorcycle accident. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was just back there where I was really wide open, you know, and she had to. My hyperactivity was just off the chain. I mean, I was just everywhere. Shit, back then I smoked the hell out of the weed. You know, I used to run my crew. When I was raising my kids, you know, I would run an air conditioning HVAC crew at work. I could either run a 2-man crew, a 4-man crew, or a 5-man crew. And I found out it's easier just to want to just do a 2-man crew and do a couple of single system houses a day and hit it good and hit it hard, and then make, you know, a good chunk of money, like $700 that day, you know. And that's what I used to do, man. I used to be an HVAC installer, so money was never an issue, you know what I'm saying? And I worked hard. And on the weekends, that's when it was the party was on. And then shit, whenever my mom died, that's when that social activity that I had going on the weekends with myself, what I chose to do, it went south. I used that shit for a crutch, and I buried myself in that crap. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. But hey, those were the good old days. And I'm glad I got a second chance to live. Really, I do, man. I don't think this girl could have lived without me, really. I know I keep showing her, but man, I should have took her out of the glass so you could see her, but I guess you can see her good. Man, I could almost kiss her. Time things take on people. We ain't looking all the same every day. Turned out to be a good Father's Day today. Look at them wrinkles. I think you can tell my stress level whenever there's wrinkles or not. Bye-bye. See y'all later, man. Happy Father's Day, everybody.